Hey kids, welcome to Unit 1, Lesson 9, Loops Exercise number 4. In Painter Plus Java, write the method signature for the PaintLine string color method. Inside the PaintLine string color method, use the pseudocode from your writing algorithms to write the Java code for a Painter Plus object to paint a horizontal or vertical line using the specified color as long as there's no obstacles. And if you remember back to class, we wrote some pseudocode. Pseudocode should look something like this. And really what we're going to say is, while the painter has paint, we want to paint yellow. And if the painter can move forward, we're going to move forward. Because again, horizontal and vertical are just the X and Y axes. So if we can move forward, we're just going to move forward. Then we'll have to write some code to call that. Here's a little example. And always our show me how. How do we write that? First thing we have to do is decide, where does this method signature for this PaintLine string color method go? Again, we want it within this subclass. We're going to come down after our take all paint, and we're going to put it here. First thing we're going to do is write that method signature. Tab over. We need public. Void is the return type. And this time they gave us the name PaintLine. And we're going to put a parameter inside this. The parameter is going to be a word or string. And that string it's going to take is going to be a color. After that, do not forget your curly cues. Looking back to our algorithm, while it can move, we want it to move and also paint. I think that means we're going to need a while statement. And while our little sprite can move, we want it to move and paint. Come in here, we'll tab over, while, and we have the method can move. Do not forget your curly cue with your while statement. So we should end up with 2 at the bottom. Ooh, deleted 1, be careful. And while it can move, what do we want it to do? Well, we want it to paint. And paint what? Well, whatever color we tell it. Don't forget your semicolon, because this is actually something happening. And we also want it to move after that happens. Clean up our code a little here. And we can see we now have a new method, PaintLine. It takes one parameter, which has to be a string, and that string is the color type. Inside here, we have a while statement. We don't know how many times it has to move. And look, our paint bucket is also changed. Really helpful to use that while statement up here. So while we can move, we're going to paint whatever color we tell it and then move forward. Rinse and repeat. That doesn't sound too bad. Now we're back at our main page here, and we have to do the same thing as we did before. We have to call that method we just wrote. Before, we used the myPainter plus to call our method takeAllPaint. Now it's going to be PaintLine. That means it's going to be myPainter plus and PaintLine. And we have to figure inside our PaintLine, what color do we want? We can do any color. Our pseudo, we used yellow. Let's try yellow for this one. That means now we should take all of the buckets. And again, we have a while statement, so it doesn't matter if it's 7 or 700. We'll take all of those and we should paint 7 lines or until we hit the edge. Let's see if that's what happens. Oh, we got an error. just putting in yellow didn't work, but that's a color. It is, but we forget, kids, since it's a string, it has to be literal within quotes. Do not forget your quotes there. Now when I hit run, it should paint a yellow line. There we go. I want you to notice it painted on the one we took the paint bucket from. That's because in our method here, we paint, then we move. If I switch this around, this square could be over here. Key takeaways from this lesson. Again, it's how do we write a method? Do not forget the anatomy and the syntax of it. In our signature, we have our public return type, our method name, and then inside this, we can also give it parameters. And our parameter in here was a color. We used a while loop, and we basically said, if you can move, we want you to paint and move over and over again. Another big takeaway is when we're calling these colors, they have to be in quotes. Remember, it has to be literal. Yellow is an actual word. It's looking through a database of all of the names of colors, and it's looking for something specific. So you have to use those quotes. Hopefully this video helped you better understand how to use your first set of parameters in a method. As always, kids, if you have questions, come see me. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. See you later, kids. Bye, bye, bye.